Merry Christmas and Happy New Year, everybody. So, as you've seen in the intro, it looks like Santa Claus has a little idea for me. To Nathan, try Overdrive for a change. Love, Santa. Love hearts. Thanks, Santa. I had to double read that. Didn't know if it was Santa or Santa's wife. Anyway, here we go. Here it looks like Santa has left me a nice, lovely collection of Overdrive pedals. As the note suggests, I'm not much of an Overdrive user, to be honest. I mainly get my Overdrive sounds from my amp, and I'll add to that distortion. Particularly, I love the Boss DS2. Anyway, given, you know, the current trend to have overdrives and stack them, this is probably a nice little collection of Tube Screamer clones, if I can call them that. They all have a kind of a green motif, which would suggest, you know, they take inspiration from a certain overdrive from Ibanez. So, let's have a look what we've got. We've got the Digitech Bad Monkey Tube Overdrive. We've got the Maxon OD808, which obviously takes inspiration from the Tube Screamer 808. We've got a wild card kind of here. We've got the Super Overdrive SD1 from Boss. It's not green, it's yellow, but I have another idea I have for this, because I'm a DS2 and a John Frusciante fan. Watch this space. I'm going to make something else with that as well. Here we have an interesting one. We have the Double Trouble. So I was always a fan of the Jekyll and Hyde, which if you guys don't know is used by Albert Hammond Jr. from the Strokes. So they also make this the Double Trouble, which I guess is two Tube Screamers together, stacked. So that's another theme we're going to go for in this video. We've got the Way Huge Green Rhino Overdrive Mark II, which I think is owned by Dunlop, if I remember. Yeah, Dunlop. So there we go. And we have the Coco Mini Overdrive. So, a nice little collection here of clones of the Tube Screamer. So, where do we begin? I'm thinking with this video, I have a little sound clip I've been given by Santa, and it's probably good if I play through each of these pedals on that sound clip, and then you get a sense of the sound of these pedals. Why don't I ever use overdrive pedals? I kind of just get the sound from the amp. I like the Edge of Breakup clean sound because I'm a Frusciante fan, and when I do a guitar solo, I'm not really looking for the slightly crunchy, boosted up blues sort of tone. I like the out of your face, you know, high gain distortion, basically making it sound like a violin. So I've never really gone into this world, so this will be interesting for me. So yeah, so the idea I'm going to have is we're going to play a little 1 minute sound clip, and I'm going to play along to it with each of these pedals. So I'll put a picture of those on the screen, and then you get to hear. One of the good things about Tube Screamers and pedals like this in general is generally the motif is you've got a level and a gain and some kind of tone control. This one obviously has low and high EQ. This one has overdrive, balance will be level, and tone. Level, drive, tone. Each of these, level, drive, and tone. It does have a bit of a bass boost, but we'll leave that off. Same here. You know, they have sort of the kind of layout of these pedals is very simple. You've got some gain or drive, you've got a level, and you can affect the tone. So what we'll probably do to start with is we'll just run everything at 12 o'clock. Okay, so it's in the middle position. My plans after that, after playing each of these pedals, is I'm going to delve into this kind of world where we're going to look at stacking the pedals. So what I'll probably do is take what I feel to be the best of these, obviously leaving this out, this is already stacked, and see if I can make one of these with a combination of the rest of them, to see if I can do that stacked John Mayer sort of thing, you know, where he uses a tube screamer and a clon and he stacks them together to get his solo tones. So that's what we'll do. And like I said, the SD one, I'm also going to probably do another video with that, with my other pedals. I have a plan for that. So anyway, so let's get started. Let's just do each of these pedals to a backing track, then we'll take it from there. Actually, before we get going and begin, let me show you the setup, what I'm running. So I've got my Boss Katana, and that's set, actually weird for me, I've got it set to the clean mode, and the EQ is just at 12 o'clock, but the dry, or the gain and the volume on the channel is all the way up. We're coming out of a DI, out the back, and we're going into my interface, into Logic, etc. But in terms of the pedals, we're going to go from my number 1 Strat, tuned in E flat. We're going to run, basically I've just set them up smallest to biggest. Okay, so we're going to start with the Coco Overdrive, then the Maxon, the SD1, the Bad Monkey, the Green Rhino, and finally the Double Trouble. Before we play to any backing tracks, I thought it probably best to start with you hearing each pedal on their own. And then maybe I might stack a few together, I don't know. I've just had a little play already, and there's already some combinations I already like. So anyway, each pedal is set to 12 o'clock. So totally clean sound, and then everything at 12 o'clock. Well, apart from this, I nudged that a little bit by accident. Right, okay. Okay, let's get all of the pedals ran through. Here's my clean sound. Right, okay, let's start with the Coco. Now the Maxon. Now the SD1. Now the Bad Monkey. Now the Green Rhino. And now we'll just play one of the overdrives on the Double Trouble. Now, let's just try putting a few of these together. So let's just put the first two together. So the Coco and the Maxon. Oh, let's get the excuses out of the way first. Can you see I've cut my finger? So yeah, race car driver excuse. So bad play. Right, anyway. Let's try this and the SD1. let's try the Maxon and the SD1. Right, Maxon and Bad Monkey. Right, now Maxon and Green Rhino. Now Maxon, Double Trouble. In fact, while we have the opportunity, let's do just the Double Trouble but both. Right, so definitely the lowest gain, everything at 12 o'clock, the one with the lowest gain is the little one. In fact, there's hardly any difference. The Maxon has, and the ones with the most gain, so the least gain is that one, then the Bad Monkey. They're like the similar. Let's stack those together. But definitely the most gain comes from the Green Rhino or the SD1. That's the big sound, that one. And then this thing, Double Trouble, is basically on its own. Yeah, there's no point stacking it with other things. You can just get the singular and then double. I mean, if you wanted to go totally crazy, you'd probably stack it with the Green Rhino, everything on. So you're going to get a lot of hissing noise because I'm running these actually, some are on power supply and some are with batteries, so you're just going to get just a noise, like listen to this. But that's fine, right. Right, let's hear them all in context of a piece of music. So that was a run through of each pedal without any backing track. I've kept all the gains and volumes and drives and whatever these knobs are to 12 o'clock. So off the bat, the Coco Mini Overdrive, that's obviously the one with the least gain or drive. Overdrive pedal, not distortion, but you know what I mean. Maybe, I don't know, if you turn up the volume all the way, the level, you can use this as a nice little booster pedal, probably, but I don't think if I'm going to be pairing it up or doing any wild solos, I don't think I'd be using this. On contrast though, the Green Rhino, as everything's at 12 and it has a lot of drive and a lot of boost. So this thing, I don't know, if you crank it up, is probably an absolute beast. And probably not like a true tube screamer, to be honest. The Bad Monkey, I'm a little bit disappointed, to be honest. It kind of doesn't do anything. You turn it on and I don't know, I don't hear much of a difference. Well, obviously this Double Trouble, you turn both of them on and it gets loud and quite distorted, well, overdrivey, yeah, with two of them. So that does a good job. And then we get to the Maxon. To me, you know, this sounded like a true tube screamer. I mean, we're only halfway up on everything, and when you turn it on, it slightly overdrives the sound and gives you a boost. Pretty sure if you turn this up all the way, you know, you get some searing solos with that. So that, for me, that Maxon is from what I've heard, a good tube screamer sort of clone. But for me, so far, my favourite pedal, which isn't a tube screamer, is the SD1. This is more my type of pedal. You turn it on and things get louder and they make more overdriving noises. So anyway, next up we're going to play each pedal against a backing track. So you're going to hear the same thing like 6 times, and so you hear them in the context of a sort of like a song. Okay, so first up we'll hear the Coco, and we're going in size order again. So the Coco, the Maxon, the SD1, the Bad Monkey, the Rhino, and then in the end we're just going to use one overdrive on the Double Trouble, because 2 would be cheating. So there we have the backing track portion of the video. Like I said, this Coco doesn't really do anything. So I think the best thing I'm going to do for the rest of this video is put this away, take this away. Because the next part I'm going to do is I'm going to start stacking the pedals in various orders. And I don't think having that Coco is going to do anything really. So the only thing I'm not going to stack is the double treble, because it's already got 2 overdrives. That's basically, we're going to go first with this, and this is going to be just stacking itself. We're going to have 1 overdrive on, and then we're going to turn both of them on. Then after that, I'm going to play along, and we're going to have probably a selection of this max on with the SD1, max on with the green Rhino, because this is like the lowest of these 5. This will be like one of the low gain ones, so it's good to put the low gain with the high gain. I'm thinking of John Mayer stacking sort of thing here. You get the, you know, he has a TS10 tube screamer into a Klon, you know, a bit of drive against a lot more drive, and together they give you a big boost. So we're probably going to do max on into SD1, max on into green Rhino, and then Bad Monkey into the Rhino, maybe Bad Monkey into SD1, I don't know. But anyway, so we're going to listen to those next. So from what I can really tell playing with these, and again, I haven't touched any of the controls, they're just on 12 o'clock. For me, if we're going to start stacking pedals, you don't want to have everything turned up fully, you know, all the way to 10 or whatever. You want them, for me, stacking is gradually building up, so maybe keeping everything at 12 for this video gives us an idea of how much, like, I'm not going to say headroom because that's for amps, but like how much gain room you've got. Yeah. This double treble is brilliant, but for me it's a pedal on its own. You don't need to stack it with anything. So you want a slightly less overdrive sound, you press one on, and you want to go for the solo with a bit more drive, you press both of them on. Yeah. As far as I know, both sides are exactly the same. You just, you know, you can turn the gain up on one side compared to the other. There's a bass boost I haven't touched, to be honest, but you probably do that. But yeah, this is on its own. Anyway, so my conclusions, my favorite stack out of all of the combination I've tried is going to be the Boss SD1 and it combined with the Green Rhino. Yes, the two loudest, most overdrivey pedals together. Yeah, you could probably turn one of these down and sort of do the, you know, slightly less gain into more gain, but for me the sound of these two is just fantastic. This SD1 is not a tube screamer in my eyes. It's its own thing. It's its own. It's like my DS2. It's called a turbo distortion, and it's a distortion pedal, but it's got its own sound. And for me, it's the same with the SD1. I mean, I can see why people that don't want a tube screamer want something like a tube screamer, but don't want to do the whole tube screamer image or the whole Stevie Ray Vaughan thing. So they go for something like this, an SD1. I totally buy that. That's exactly it. In fact, I'll be honest, I'm kind of in love with this pedal, to be honest. I might ask the owner if he'll let me buy it. Or if I can find a second-hand one. So I don't have one of these in the collection. Anyway, so starting off with the SD1 as the rhythm tone, the crunch rhythm tone, you know, fattening up the sound is great. And then when it comes to doing a solo, clicking on the Green Rhino is just fantastic. So for me, that's my favorite combo for stacking. I mean, everyone has their own you know, view on it. You might have liked other things that you heard, but for me it was definitely these two. There is one more thing I'd like to try, because my close second for combination was actually the Maxon and the SD1. In terms of space with my pedal board, I would probably go for these two just because of the size. Yeah, the Green Rhino is a massive pedal compared to others. Okay, but it's still together. I think to get absolute overdrive, stacking three of these would be perfect for like long sustained. I like violin style sort of sounds, so that's why I have a DS2. So I don't know. So I think what I'm going to try now is I'm going to try playing some rhythm. I'm going to play a sort of famous song in a minute using these two pedals, and then for the guitar solo tone I'm just going to have all three on. Okay, so anyway, let's have a listen to that and let's see what you guys think. So we're coming to the end of this Tube Screamer clone sort of demo. Huge thanks to the owner who lent me these pedals. That was a nice little Christmas surprise. Before he gets them back though, I have to do more videos with this pedal. This is my overall favourite pedal from this collection, and it's not a Tube Screamer. So I'm still not quite won over with Tube Screamers. It's just not my kind of thing in terms of my sound, but I can see why people like them. They are great to stack with another pedal, and you can get a tone that's not over the top distortion, and it's not also too thin and not crunchy enough, like a boost pedal, like a micro amp, for example. Yeah, that's kind of what this pedal is. This is like a micro amp, but with a drive section. So I don't know. Still though, I think there's only one last thing I can do with all of these, because it would be a shame not to do it while they're all here, and that's I'm just going to click on all of them one at a time. We'll start with the Coco, then we'll click in the Maxon, and then we'll click in the SD one, and then the Bad Monkey, and then the Way Huge Green Rhino, and then we'll just turn everything on the Double Trouble, and then we'll see what kind of big mess of a sound we have. Anyway, that's enough for me. I hope this was kind of hopeful. Hopeful, definitely hopeful. I hope it's helpful for you guys to hear different versions of what people try to emulate, like a Tube Screamer sort of pedal. But I'd gladly say that all of these are totally different, and they're not really Tube Screamers. I think the closest one from what I've heard for me is the Maxon, the OD808, but it's been massive fun. So we're going to end with a bit more of some silly fun, and then I'm guessing in the future you're going to see another video with me playing with this SD1, because I totally love it. Anyway, I'm going to play you out with all three pedals. Thanks for watching. If you like this video, hit the like button, subscribe, and all the other things that YouTubers ask you to do if you stuck around at the end. So bye-bye.